Hey guys. Hey guys, Richie150 here, welcome back. Now, this episode of Poke Tips is about broken Pokemon cards. Cards that, to me, seem kind of busted. One of them is probably Arceus V-Star, right off the bat, because of the Starbirth, allowing you to search 2 cards. And then Trinity Nova. Search your deck for 3 basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon V in any way you like. And this is already after Arceus V was already in play. So first you play Trinity Charge, attach them to this, then you can use this, and then you can power up everything else of your Vs. So that's why I have Mimikyu in my deck, is to counter that. So that's pretty busted. Another thing that's busted is probably both Charizard EXs. Brave Wing, 1 damage counter, and suddenly, boom, it does 160 damage for 1 energy. And since Rare Candy is not so rare anymore, it's gonna come out and wreck your whole team very quick. Unless you have Mimikyu, Aggie Slash with its ability, or you can one-hit KO 330 HP in 1 hit, which I don't think you can do. But if you notice, it doesn't have that text box as the other Charizard EX. So try to knock it out while it's on the bench or before it evolves. And let's see here. Do I have them? This Charizard EX, this one definitely I call broken, because all you have to do is just evolve, and suddenly you get 3 basic fire energy and you can attach them to any Pokemon. So in other words, the same thing as what Arceus does, but you don't even need to attack for it. Nor do you need to give up your V-Star ability. And it does 30 more damage for each prize card that your opponent takes, so he helps turn the whole game in your favor. Like, seriously, I had a hard time with this Pokemon, because all it takes is opponent to have 2 rare candies, 2 Charmanders, and 2 of these. Suddenly, your whole game's over, unless you have a way to counter them. So that's another one that's kind of broken. Another one that I find is somewhat broken is Garchomp EX. Now this one also has that ability as the Charizard. Now the reason why this one's broken, for 1 energy it does 160 damage. The same as the Charizard, but it doesn't need damage counters. And it also gets attached 3 basic fighting energy from your discard to any of your bench Pokemon. And then if it has a second one, it can do 120 damage to one of my Pokemon, any of them. Doesn't matter. So basically, what makes this one broken isn't really the Sonic Dive. Like, you gotta keep it from getting 2 energy. And it discards that energy, that's not too bad. But the Hydrolander and the no retreat cost make this one slightly broken in my opinion. Now this one of course came up, it's Venusaur EX, with its Dangerous Toxic Whip and its Tranquil Flower. I had trouble beating this. Once during your turn, this Pokemon is inactive, it can heal 60 from any of your Pokemon, and then with Dangerous Toxic Whip, it does 150 and confuses and poisons my Pokemon. Which means if I want to do damage, I have to probably switch out my Pokemon, otherwise I risk the attack not working and taking more damage while he is healing 60 at a time, each turn. And pair it up with the other one, and then also pair it up with the other Venusaur right here, Loopy Lasso. Flip a coin. If heads, switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, and the new active Pokemon is now asleep and poisoned. So in other words, I had to face both of these at the same time, and it was a nightmare, because he can use his ability on the bench, is what he was doing. He was pulling out any of my Pokemon that he can wipe out in 1 hit, over and over. So try to prevent him from getting both of these Venusaurs at the same time, otherwise the combo is pretty broken. A cure to that combo is actually, a cure for it is actually using Mist Energy, so you can't be poisoned, confused. That's the only way I beat it was because of Mimikyu. I put nothing else on my bench, I just kept Mimikyu, and gave it a Mist Energy and just kept wiping out the Venusaur. I'm just glad he didn't have enough energy. But he also paired it with a Radiant Tsarni, and that's when I conceded, because I could do 0 damage each turn to it, because he heals all of it. So yeah, do not let him get this on the field with those Venusaurs. Otherwise, it's basically game over for you. You have to do major damage in order to knock them all out. Another broken card I found is called Metang with its Metal Maker. So look at the top 4 and you can attach any number of basic steel energy. Now it alone isn't too bad, but my opponent had 3 of them on his bench, which allowed him to power up all of his Pokemon in a single turn. So yeah, do not let your opponent get too many of these Metangs and you should be good. Another one that I find is somewhat broken is the Strike Down attack of Kingambit. Because if I have even 4 damage counters, I'm knocked out. Which basically is kind of easy to counter, but it can be pretty broken if your opponent has Gape Jaw Bog, which does 20 damage already, and then all he has to do is do one move that does damage to all my bench Pokemon, and then suddenly it's game over. But this one's not really a big one. Now this one, on the other hand, is a breaker. So Steel Wing, 70 damage to me, and he takes 50 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. So I have to hit him with a fire type move to get him really knocked out or close. But he also has a stadium card in the field that makes steel type Pokemon take 30 less damage. So each turn, if he keeps using Steel Wing, I take 70 damage and he takes 80 less damage. So it's pretty busted, basically, because of the Steel Wing ability with that, and then you can put an item on here to give him either more HP or take even less damage. So yeah, pretty dangerous. That's why I try to knock out any Scyther in a Steel deck as soon as I can. Anyway guys, that's some of the cards I find that are slightly broken. And I want to know what you guys also think might be a broken... Oh, there was one more. I almost forgot him. Alakazam EX. Mind Jack. This deck does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So not only is he wiping out and hitting all my Pokemon in the active slot with Mind Jack, if I have a full bench, but he can also start taking out my Pokemon on the bench. Or, I mean, when it's on the bench. So in other words, he's going to take out my active Pokemon while this thing's on the bench, while he has a Pokemon up in the front, like a Snorlax or something with high HP. That's what makes this one so dangerous, is because I don't know how to counter this one yet. Like, 2 Psychic Energy is all you need, and then you can do 120 damage each turn without using your active Pokemon. So yeah guys, that one's pretty broken. Anyway guys, like I said before, comment down below some combos that you think are broken. And as always, I'll catch you all later. See ya. Is that a Dedenne?